very pleased with our guys' efforts today, and the fact that just, it's been so long since we've been on the floor, 274, 275 days. Thought we had great energy, and really played pretty hard and with good effort. So, you can't, for what Trey did last year, for him to follow it up with his first game this season the way he did. Was anxious to see how they were going to guard him up front. Who were they going to double with if they did double? And they didn't double him early. And he was able to get some baskets inside and then made some threes there in the first half. We talked about this the other day. Javon Garcia is tremendous, and we've really been on him about bringing it every single day. And we knew what he would be able to do as soon as the lights come on, and he was terrific. Ronnie DeGray, his first college game started for us tonight. Again, he played well too. So proud of our guys. Obviously, quick turnaround here, unique circumstance, but proud of how our guys played today.
All right, we'll open it up to questions, beginning with Kyle Grabowski from the Gazette.
How was it on your end managing all of the new faces and figuring out lineups and sort of figuring out which guys click together?
Well, I think, once the game got going and got started there, we had some guys that were in quarantine a little bit longer than some other guys, and those guys had a little more practice reps. So, in terms of who was starting the game and things like that. But, I thought we had some good combinations. Noah never really got into the flow because of the foul trouble. Up on the scoreboard, it said he had one foul when he really had two. We probably should have got him out of the game when he picked up his second. But I don't think anybody realized it. It said one up on the scoreboard. It had two in the book. So he was hard for Noah to really get into the flow today. But I thought, we can play different. We can play different lineups, and you can have 2 point guards out there with him and Javon. You can have 2 snipers with him and with TJ and Carl. So a lot of different combinations. But for the most part, again, we talked about this the other day. There's not a lot of drop off, in terms of our bench from the guys that start the game to whoever's in the game. We're deep, and I think we showed that today.
All right. Up next is Dan McGee from the Collegian.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, first game back for TJ, and God knows how long. How did you feel about his play today?
Yeah, TJ hasn't played. What was the last game he played in last year? Probably South Carolina or Yale. He's been terrific in practice. He's been really, really good. I think that when you got a guy like him that's a sniper from the perimeter, he's hunched shots. We've been talking to him a lot about managing expectations and not going out there and trying to shoot 50% from the 3-point line. Put your focus on the defensive end of the floor. Put your focus on rebounding, because that's what we need. But, I thought TJ was good. He missed some shots that normally he makes or, he's capable of making, but I thought he took good shots. He always finds a way really to drive it in there in the basket. He had a couple and ones there as well. So I thought he played well, and we're going to need him going forward.
All right, thank you.
All right, up next is Freddie Hanna.
Hey, Coach. Javon tied the same amount of minutes as Trey in the game with 33. Was that sort of the plan with him coming off the bench and then letting him find his rhythm in the game, or?
Yeah, I think that for Javon it was more again, we know how good he is, right? We know how talented he is. We've been on him about bringing that every single day. Did I envision him playing 33 minutes tonight? No, not going into the game. But when something's working, you got to stick with it. And tonight this afternoon, it was him and Trey. And the ball needed to be in both of their hands. Noah was in foul trouble in the majority of the game. So that obviously increased his minutes as well. But, especially in the second half, the ball needed to be in his hands. The ball needed to be in Trey Mitchell's hands, and those are the guys that had it going. And those are the guys that we needed to ride at that point in time. Other days, it could be other guys, right? If it's Carl drilling threes from the perimeter, or TJ or Ronnie or DeAndre, whoever it may be, then you go to those guys. And tonight or this afternoon, It just happened to be Javon and Trey. And, we've got to be mindful of that. Our entire team, whose day is it? Whose night is it? And when it's going to them and they got it going, we got to go to them. And we're deep, and it could be anybody's night on a given night.
Thanks, Coach.
Up next is Howard Herman from the Berkshire Eagle.
You're muted.
You're muted, Howard.
Now I'm unmuted.
Come on, Howard, figure it out there, bud. Let's go.
Hey, I'm watching two of you at the same time. Welt's on the other one.
Okay.
Dibaji didn't get into the game today. Injured, just coach's decision.
Just the coach's decision. That was it. Dibaji, we've been on him as well about being consistent with everything he's doing, both on and off the floor, in terms of his academics, his everything, being on time to everything. But it was a coach's decision.
For your team to start the way it did, were you a little surprised that they got into it as quickly as it appeared, at least watching it on television they did, that they seemed to know that they were doing what they needed to do?
I think even since August, we've put a emphasis on a lot of different areas, but 5-on-0 on offense, executing our offense has been a big point of emphasis, right? Getting the ball pushed up the floor and getting into offense faster. I think if you've watched our teams in the past, it's taken us a while to just get into our initial set. And I think that our guys, we've spent a lot of time on working on that and getting into our initial set faster, not walking the ball up the floor. I think we led the country last year in shot clock violations, right? And I don't think we had a single one today. So we've got a lot of guys that understand the game, they comprehend the game, and that makes it easier on your coaching staff when you have guys like that. And I think I wasn't surprised at all with our guys comprehending the things that we've been teaching them really on both ends of the floor.
Thanks, Matt.
Up next is Milton Posner.
Hey, Coach, your guys, there was a decent amount of free throw shooting, to go around for both squads this afternoon. Is that something that you want to see your team be like a little bit more disciplined on Sunday, or is it just that's the cost of an aggressive press? It's the cost of doing business, and you'll take it?
Yeah, I think anytime you're being aggressive on defense, there's a chance you're going to foul. We don't want to take away our guys' aggression. We don't want to do that. I got to look at the tape and see exactly, where all the fouls were. I also think, Milton, early on in the year, a lot of fouls get called, right? I think you get all the, they make you watch all the rule videos and all the changes with the rules and things like that. And even the officials are really on all those things. And then as the year goes, I even think the game's able to get a little more physical. I really do. I think that happens every year. That's no knock on officiating. But I always think early on in the year, they're on whatever the rule changes or the point of emphasis are. And I think that's just the case early on in the year.